this is a message to Christians. You need to stop supporting, endorsing, loving, promoting Black Lives Matter. And it's something I've been saying for a while, but it's becoming more and more clear that this is not a movement from God. This is not something that we should be aligning with. There are so many reasons why we need to not be supporting this. And we as Christians need to not be lazy. And we need to come up with something new. If you want to support Black lives, if you want to speak against police brutality, you need to do it in another way, because Black Lives Matter is using you, okay? They are using you to further a satanic agenda. And it has become so clear now. There has been so many things that have come out about Black Lives Matter that has made it so abundantly clear that Christians should be walking the opposite way from supporting this organization, this movement, all of it, okay? We need to stand up and not support this. And I know that we get bullied when we don't, and we get called racist or whatever. We love white supremacy, but do not let them bully you, okay? Because this is not a movement that is Christian. It is not Christian, and it is not, in fact, it is the opposite. So it has been revealed that the founders of Black Lives Matter speak to the dead. And if you know your Bible, you know that you are not supposed to speak to the dead. The dead know nothing. And it's called soothsaying, it's witchcraft. And they have admitted that they speak to ancestors. Ancestor worship is becoming something that they are pushing on Black America, okay? And the founders of Black Lives Matter have admitted that they speak to the dead. They even have names for who they speak to, okay? And this is not Christian. This is satanic. You do not speak to the dead, all right? That is speaking to demons. So they are getting guidance from demons. And they have also said that the hashtag, using the Black Lives Matter hashtag, is more than a hashtag. It actually calls up energy. It calls up spirits. And that is also something that we should be very much stepping away from, not supporting, not doing, okay? And then they have also admitted that when they say the name, when people participate in these protests and they chant the name of the person that has died, they are using that to call up spirits, okay? They are using that chanting to call up the spirits of the dead, of that dead person. And again, take the Bible for what it says. The dead know nothing, okay? So when they are chanting the names of the dead and they're trying to call up their spirit, they're not calling up the actual person, they're calling up a demon, okay? So we need to have nothing to do with this movement. Now, that is just some of their satanic beliefs, because those are satanic, but then also let's look at the fruits of it. What have they done? We have seen more people die because of their movement, okay? We have seen more people die in a week, in 2 weeks, in 1 to 2 weeks. It was like 30 people that died, okay? That was a lot of lives lost. Actually, it was 19. It was 19. I'm getting it mixed up because it's been over 30 now since George Floyd. But in those first 2 weeks, there was 19 people that died in the protests, okay? In the murderous riots. They weren't really protests. And yes, there was some peaceful protests, but those just contribute to the mob, okay? And they turn dangerous at night, especially in cities. That is more than the police killed in a year of unarmed Black men, okay? So obviously, this movement is killing people. That is satanic. Satan wants people to die, and one way or another. And if it's for a righteous cause, so be it, okay? So we need to not be supporting this movement. And I find it crazy that there's still Christians there's still churches that have Black Lives Matter on the front of their church, on the sign. There's still pastors that are preaching Black Lives Matter. And I get it. I see why you want to use that statement, because it's a tricky statement, right? Because if you don't use it, then obviously you don't care about Black lives. No, you are being lazy. You are not coming up with a new statement. All you have to say is, I care about the lives of Black people. You could just change it around, because every time you use Black Lives Matter, you are promoting the organization, you're promoting the murderous movement, you are promoting Antifa, you are promoting violence, you are promoting abuse against cops and police officers. You are promoting their satanic agenda, which is to defund the police, which obviously is already not working. We have seen this in cities where they have defunded the police force. And I mean, they're cutting out stuff like special victims unit. Okay, that's people that have been sexually assaulted. Okay, in Los Angeles, they are cutting that unit. They're cutting it down. Okay, because the police is being defunded. And in Seattle, we just found out that they hired a pimp at $150,000 a year to be a sort of community officer, right? So we have this kind of creepy, sinister solutions coming up right now. I mean, he's no longer a pimp, apparently, but a former pimp, someone who hasn't been trained in law enforcement, is now going to have the power of law enforcement in his hands, okay? So, Christians, this is not something we should be aligning with. This is not something that we should be promoting. And I know that many of you are at the crossroads right now where you're like, I still support the statement, but I don't support the organization or the movement just stop, all right? We need a whole new thing, okay? We need a whole new organization. We need a whole new statement, because all you're doing is promoting them and adding fuel to their fire, okay? And in fact, we should be collectively speaking against it, because it is clothed in righteousness. Well, they're not doing a very good job at that, but it's not working, and it's hurting Black communities. And every time you are promoting Black Lives Matter, you are hurting Black people, plain and simple.